Lucas Paqueta has been given a pretty nice looking team of the season item, and I know what some people are thinking straight away. Kieran, he's only got a 2-star weak foot. He does on his previous cards, but on his team of the season, he's been boosted to a 4-star weak foot, which really does help out with a midfielder. So hopefully, not just a stat boost, but also that weak foot upgrade is going to make this card a really nice item for Ultimate Team. If you want to improve your Ultimate Team and need some coins to do so, you should check out my sponsor, IG Vault. There's a link to do so in the description, and if you use the code Kieran, you'll get yourself a nice little discount off your order. So this will be the team he's going to be used in. We are going to start him off as a centre mid, but he's also going to get tested in defensive and more attacking roles as well as we rotate the team around. With him having high medium work rates, obviously you might not want him as, you know, just your lone DM, but I definitely think he's got the stats to do like a box-to-box job in a 2DM formation. So what are we working with here? First of all, my attention is drawn to the physicals because they are really nice. Elite jumping, stamina and aggression, and also decent strength as well. So should be a bit of a monster in at the midfield. Defensive stats aren't the best, and if you are going to use him in a defensive role, you might want to, you know, put a defensive heavy chem style on him. Shadow would obviously be the clear choice there. Dribbling looks nice for a mid. Agility is good. Ball control is great, as is the in-game dribbling and composure, and the passing stats are just really solid. Really good short passing, curve and vision, so hopefully this guy can distribute really nicely off both feet as well with that weak foot upgrade. For mid, he's also got really good shooting, nice shot power and long shots. Hopefully certainly will be a threat from distance, and then of course the pace is very good for a midfielder. Now, for a chem style for this guy, you do have multiple options in my opinion. I actually think basic is a really good option for him, just because of all the +5s that it gives. I think that is a very viable option. I also think if you're going to use this guy in an attacking role, something like engine could be a really good choice as well, but I feel for most part, people are going to want to make this card as well-rounded as possible, so they're going to go for Shadow, and with that you pretty much max out the pace and give him some nice defensive stats, so that's probably what we're going to go for in this review today. Almost forgot to press record and we get like 2 seconds on the team, so that's what we're up against. You saw a bunch of special cards, and yeah, it's a nice team. Paqueta springing into action here, linking up. Oh, was linking up nicely, but the pass sadly didn't find its way through. Opportunity. Paqueta sees the run of Diatta. It's a nice ball, and Diatta just... I was holding sprint and the first touch just wasn't the best. Nice intercept there from Paqueta. Puts through a nice through ball as well for Mbappe, who will score. Great through ball from the Brazilian. Brilliant assist. Okay, at the break, as you can see, super tight game, but we are 2-1 down, but hopeful of a comeback. Bamba's going to play central for the second 45 and can hopefully do a good job there. Let's bring Turvan on just because, not Turvan, sorry, Vasquez on because he's the beast. Paqueta obviously going to stay in that midfield role, this time performing as our box-to-box DM. Paqueta goes for the dink over the top, and Diatta will get on the end of that as well. Nice from Paqueta on the edge of the box. Good pick up there. Great pick up there, and puts the ball through for Mbappe. Nice intercept there from the Brazilian. Nice from Paqueta once more. He's having a right second half. Nice, good interception once more from the Brazilian. That was without a doubt Paqueta's best outing as well. Just did really well intercepting lines and then turning defense into attack, which is exactly what we'd want out of him in that role. It's actually very frustrating that on next gen you like literally see the opposition squad for 5 minutes and you really don't get to have a proper look at it. I mean 5 minutes, 5 seconds I mean. Paqueta has a chance to pick out Bamba, and he does exactly that. Who just absolutely burns Max Aaron's. Chance to switch play here. Goes with his right foot. Won't be able to do that with your previous cards. Paqueta, once again, that left foot ball, cross field. That's a wonderful pass, by the way. Paqueta, inside the box. Oh, just could not get the ball under control. Well, at the break, it is 3-3. We are not defending too great in this game, but we're going to switch up in the second half to the 4-2-3-1. Bamba, obviously, in the left attacking mid row. Paqueta is actually going to drop and be our box-to-box midfielder, and we'll just bring on someone like Cam. Nice tackle there from Paqueta. As you saw, was not paying attention in the slightest, so a nice no-look tackle there from the Brazilian. Oh, Paqueta with the initial tackle, but wasn't fully completed. This is some disgusting defence from myself. Like, disgustingly terrible, but eventually we get the ball with. How was Paqueta in that game? Pretty good, to be honest. I like him. I definitely don't think he's an out-and-out DM. I don't think his tackling feels good enough for that role. But, yeah, he's nice in that box-to-box role. He really, really is. Nice Paqueta. Good tackle from behind. Chance for Paqueta. Goes along with the through ball. And that's a really good through ball as well for Diatta. And I've gone early with the chip. Oh, I went too early. What a ball from the Brazilian there. Paqueta slides it into Mbappe. Oh, what a save that is with his legs. Nice Paqueta. Good win of the ball there. Wish Mbappe kept his run there. Okay then, games out the way. Let's discuss the performances of this 90 rated Luis Paqueta. I'm going to say this straight away. I think this card is really, really good. And I definitely enjoyed using it. And 100% will use it again if I come to a League unrelated side. However, this card isn't ideal for FIFA 21 gameplay. So many people this year play cams and DMs and don't really use centre mids, whereas I think this guy's best role is actually as a centre mid. There are just so many better DMs and cams available already in the game, and I think that's one of the reasons why this card is so cheap already, because technically, like, stats wise, he's a very good item, but as you can see, just not fitting the mold. Even though he's, you know, in a good league and he's also got a very popular nation, he's still so cheap already. So yeah, as I say, I just don't think many people are going to find a home for this card in their sides, despite it being a very nice item. Now, obviously, the first thing we've got to talk about is the fact that this guy did get a weak foot upgrade, and that, to be honest, is probably the biggest positive of this card, because his right foot is now very usable, which is great, and I think I showcased that quite well in the clips, especially with the passing. In fact, let's go through the stats right now, break things down, and then we'll get back to the positioning thing. So, pace, excellent. For a midfielder, it felt very quick. Obviously, did have the Shadow Chem style to help out with that, and that was obviously fantastic, both when going forward with the ball, tracking back without it. He did feel really quick, which is great. Shooting was class for a midfielder, zero complaints there. Not obviously super clinical, not like, you know, striker territory, but for a mid, I felt the shot power was good, and the long shots were also very accurate too, which is fantastic. Now, in terms of his positioning, he likes to get forward. He certainly does like to get forward and join in with attacks. So if you want him to sit back and defend, make sure you put the instruction on him. Otherwise, the guy is going to free roam and his positioning may frustrate you. This is another reason why I wouldn't advise him as a lone DM, just because, as I say, he likes to get forward. In a 2, he's fine, but as I say, on his own, that could be very problematic. Passing's excellent, zero complaints there. Like I've already touched on, that 4-star weak foot comes in handy too, because he can pass really well off of both feet, and he's got a really nice passing range as well, both over short and long distances, which is great. So really pleased with the distribution of this item. Now we come on to the dribbling of this card, which for a mid is nice, but he's not like, you know, I think the best way to describe it is I don't think his dribbling's as good as the 94 dribbling on his card does indeed suggest, and I put that down to his agility. He's just not as fluid as other midfielders in the game. He's still very good, mind. I'm not saying the dribbling is bad whatsoever, because it is very good for a mid, but especially if you're considering using him in an attacking role, like there are just so many, you know, more agile cams, more fluid cams, ones that are just more easy to maneuver available in the game. But still, for a mid, as I say, good on the ball, really nice ball control, and very composed in possession, which is fantastic. Now we come on to the defensive area. His interceptions for me were very good, and his tackling for the most part was good, but it wasn't great, it wasn't brilliant, and that's another reason why, as I say, wouldn't use him as a lone defensive mid. He's just not as solid in that regard as other players. Obviously, his defensive awareness isn't particularly too high either. So, yeah, defending was good, but nothing too crazy. And yeah, obviously the Shadow Chem style did help him out when I was using him as well. And then finally, physically, really happy, to be honest. Really good stamina, good jumping as well, won some aerial duels, which was cool. Not against centre-backs, but against other players. And his aggression definitely made up for his lack, therefore, of strength. He's got 83 strength, which is good, but it's not amazing. But the fact that he was so aggressive in the tackle definitely did help out. So overall, as I say, I think it's a very good item. It's just a shame that I don't think it's, you know, super usable, because like I touched on at the start, most people use cams or DMs, and this guy just doesn't really fit the role for either of them. There are many better cams available in the game. You've got players like Aouar, who's fantastic there, much better than this item, and there are better DMs available as well. You've got players like Kante, and there's also a bunch of like Brazilian team this season CDMs available now, that would do a better job defensively as well. And this is probably going to be a very unpopular opinion, but if you want a Brazilian CDM, I'm a big fan of What If Lucas Leiva. I think he is brilliant, especially for his cost as well. And in regards to, like, you know, a defensive player, I think he'd be a better option than this Paqueta item. So yeah, just throwing that out there. So as I said, there are better cams and DMs available, but if you can fit this guy in as a centre mid, I do think you'll enjoy the item. But if you want a cam or a DM, as I say, do look elsewhere. Anyway guys, those are my thoughts on the 90 rated Paqueta. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, drop a like rating on it in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. I'll catch you in the next one.